Hi, I'm Joe Reeder. I'll be your child's 7th grade science teacher this year, and this video is just a way to get us acquainted with how the school year is going to work, and then we can have a fun time. First of all, your child's in a class called CNS 7. Fancy way of saying there's biology, earth science, physical science, science topics that are in the news. We'll hit those, and if there's anything that comes up that kids are particularly interested, we'll try to address those also. Our school year works around weekly learning targets, and as you'll see in the email that you'll get every Sunday, students will know on Sunday what we're going to be responsible for the following Friday. And all week, our goal is to get kids to that point. We're going to use a variety of tools that we'll discuss here in a second, and it has worked very well in the past, so we're just going to keep on working with it now. All right, first of all, one of the tools that we use is an online set of class notes. These are the notes that we use every day when the student walks in. Everything we do, any information that they need is going to be available through these online class notes, and you'll have access to them also. And if they happen to be gone, they can always go to these and say, oh, this is what we did that day. We'll make use of Google Classroom. Google Classroom's handy for providing lab directions or links that everyone needs to get. And for homework. There won't be a lot of homework, but oftentimes it comes through Google Classroom, so it's easy for students to keep track of whether it's done and maybe edit the quality of their work so they can get a product they're proud of. In the email that you and your child will get every Sunday will be a link to a weekly review tool. This tool allows students to monitor their understanding of what we're doing during the week. It helps me see how well they're doing, and I can change how I teach and reinforce things that need reinforcing. If a student can get Fortnite on their phone, they can use this tool on their phone. So there's really no reason not to do it. And it's a wonderful way for students to know whether or not they understand the material. Sometimes we kid ourselves and say, yep, I think I got that. But if they use the review tool, they'll know for sure. We have a quiz every week, almost every week. There won't be a quiz this first week for sure. Which sounds a little intimidating until you realize that means that students are only responsible for small size bites of information. We have very few large tests, and they will always know exactly what it is they need to understand by Friday, and that allows us to have great discussions in class. If the quiz doesn't go the way they thought, maybe they overestimated their understanding, we have an opportunity to retake those quizzes. Hopefully we don't use that very often. All they need to do is to keep hitting that review tool until they get 100%. Make sure any classwork that's associated with the content we're testing is done. They talk with me. We make sure that we're on the same page as to what we need to understand, and then we make arrangements to come in either working lunch or in class, whatever works best, to retake that quiz. We have unit tests about 4 times a year. These are just big ideas, the things that we've covered throughout the course of, say, our biology unit. It is not a trivia contest, and we'll have review tools, and we'll look at previous quizzes. Kids will be fine with this. It's the big stuff that they know. They're usually impressed with how much they remember from what we have done throughout the course of the year. Your student will be coming home with, my student, will be coming home with a sheet called How to Be a Successful Science Student. There's a link to it in the email that I'm sending you today. This is kind of a quick summary of really what I kind of hope they take on as a personal responsibility for the school year. If they can do this, there will not be any trouble at all with being successful in science class. Unfortunately, we give grades. And most of our grades are, well, broken up into two categories. The day-to-day stuff, worksheets, study guides, some of our labs, those kinds of things are 20% of the total grade. Students can turn in late work, but they will receive a reduced grade. And I'll take late work until the end of the unit that we're working on or the end of a grading period. What I won't take is incomplete work. So sometimes students say, well, I got most of it done. Well, when it is completely done, I'll get a look at it. Bigger grades come from our assessments. Our quizzes are 80% of the total grade, and they have a bigger impact on how how the total grade is. If it turns out that there's a planned absence, students got an opportunity to go on a family trip. Hey, family trips are wonderful. It's great to have an opportunity for kids to hang out with their parents. The problem that we have is that I can't simply hand students everything they're going to miss. So we're going to have to make sure that they kind of follow through with all of those things on the how to be a successful science student. They'll understand what their obligations are when they come back. There may be some things. There'll be quizzes they could take on Skyward. If there's assignments that they're working on in Google Classroom, that can be done in advance. But to get all of their work done ahead of time, it just won't work. Unplanned absences. Well, if you're sick, it's not a whole lot of fun. So don't worry about it. Relax. We're going to give you extra time and extra help to get caught up. If your child's feeling up to it, they can follow along on the classroom notes. Lots of things they can do if they're feeling up to it. The most important thing is just to get healthy. The letter that you got today, the weekly science update, is always going to give you our learning targets for the week, a link to a review tool, homework reminders if they're there, and anything else I think might be helpful to make sure that your child's going to be successful. Your child gets the exact same letter, so make sure that they understand that their responsibility is to do the same thing, to look at those things and to know that they've got the tools right in front of them. If you have any questions on how the school year works or any concerns, don't hesitate to get a hold of me. And I'm looking forward to a great year. Thanks.